Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 World Ablaze with me, Alpha Pi Omega and Kingdom of Sweden. So we left off in the previous episode with a little bit of conundrum. Our fascist party, NSAP, which stands for Nationalsozialistische Arbeiterrepartiet, well, I trained it and it went well, party, is at 44.52%, and we have a daily change of 0.02. Now I believe that it's gonna go all the way to 50%, where we can actually take something called national referendum, which will turn us into fascistic regime. But we need to figure out how we're going to go there. We can either expand civil support, which will dramatically lower our political power gain by 0.2 per day and lower vehicle stability by 3%. However, it gives us 0.02 extra daily fascism support, or we go with discredited government, which will slightly lower our stability but give us a huge boost because the change in popularity of democracy is going to be minus 10%. So that's going to boost the other parties. So my decision in this is that if I understand the system correctly, we're just going to wait. We're going to wait to gain a bit more political power, let the fascism slowly tick up because our army is not anywhere near ready. And then when the time comes, we are going to discredit the government and hopefully get over 50% that way. So yeah, that is it. As far as technology goes, we are good. We will get the standard infrastructure soon, which is going to boost our production efficiency growth by additional 10%, which is good. We're going to get a fuel storage soon as well. And we have started researching heavy weapons too, which is pretty good. And we should have done that probably a long time ago. We're also starting the National Focus Extra Research Slot, which is going to give us an extra research slot, which we will use as a dedicated slot for Navy, because Navy is something that we are investing in kind of heavily and we are working on it, but we need more ships here to make any difference, because the Baltic is it's not Soviet, it's not English, it is Swedish and Scandinavian. So don't be misinformed about that. This is our turf. We've proven that during the World War I, and we will prove it again. So okay, what are you giving me? Diverting production towards repairs, that's fine. Okay, we're gonna take this away. Hold national referendum, man, that costs 100. I don't want to do the Civil War. I'm pretty sure that would allow us to take control even very early on, but it's very likely that we would pay dearly for it. We're doing good though. We are doing very good. When you check our Intel ledger, we have 70 civilian factories and 14 military, which is vastly different from what we started with just a year and a half ago. I'm really happy. I'm not gonna lie, most of it is coming from trade, but as long as we reap the benefits, I'm fine with it. We're currently working on a civilian factory in Svealand and a military factory in Svealand. It's the first one. And I'm not sure what we're gonna dedicate it to. I wanted to start the import of technology from Germany, but for roleplay reasons I don't want to do it before we actually get a fascist regime up and running, because, you know, we're still a democratic country, and while I know that people, they cooperated with Germany more than we would like to hear about today, I still think that in 1937 it started to be pretty obvious that it's a no-no. So let's just stay away from that, at least for some time now. I would give additional 5% to defense. It's pretty good. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, we're almost at 45%. That is decent. Construction is ongoing. I still don't know what we're gonna do with the factory though. We're getting quite a lot of extra things here. I think that we might want to... Actually, you know what we're gonna get? We're gonna start producing civilian trains. These are going to be very useful for us, no matter what. So let's just get more of them. Let's just get more of them right off the bat. And I haven't checked, do we have any motorized available? No, we don't. That's weird. So standard infrastructure was finished. We now get an extra 10% production efficiency growth, which cuts off pretty much all of this area. Now, we could still do the factory camouflage, but I don't think we need it at this point. Let's instead start focusing on the computing machine, which is going to boost our research by 5%. And the fuel storage is going to be done soon, which will allow us to get fuel refining 1 and synthetic oil experiments as well. Yeah, and we'll need to, we will definitely need to build some fuel refineries. By the time that we will face Russia, fuel refineries are going to be desperately needed. And there's not going to be any way how to get it through the blockade. I don't know though if the game models... where was it? Is it on the trade? Yeah, it was on the trade. There were oil fields down south here. No. Nope. Not surprised Egypt has them. Libya doesn't, okay. Pure state of Iran. Well, there is a way to get it through Turkey and others, but it's gonna be rough. So instead, let us... Okay, since we will want to build some synthetic refineries, it will need to go through all of these. Fuel gain for oil. It boosts fuel from refineries as well. So let's just go with fuel refining now, because that will give us an immediate benefit. We are importing fuel, so let's make that happen. Okay, here we got an additional destroyer, so you're gonna join the fleet. This little tiny dinky submarine is training too. So we have 28 ships, 17 destroyers, 2 light cruisers and 9 heavy cruisers. Yep, we needed that extra research slot to have our research set straight as far as navies go. I need more light cruisers. We need to have those up and running. 91%. How are we doing on that? 45.4. Okay, we're getting there. We might not even need to do that, considering the stuff. Why did I put 5 there? We need just 1. Yeah. Battle for China begins. Japan declared war on China. Japan declared war on Shandong military government and Hebei Khanar political council. Shandong military government. Okay. So Japan is starting to enjoy its fun. Yep, and it's the entirety of China. And Chinese United Front is resisting them. Cool. So Battle for China begins. Following the Oyama incident, both Japan and China have blamed the other for escalating the growing tensions in China. Negotiations broke down after demands were issued to China to withdraw completely from Shanghai, which were flatly refused. After the fighting in Beijing and Tianjin, Shanghai has now become the next battleground in a conflict that has now erupted in a full-scale war. Wait, what? After the fighting in Beijing and Tianjin, Shanghai has now become... I think this sentence doesn't make much sense. Japan has the advantage of a better equipped army and air force, but time will tell whether the sheer scale of China can stop them. Well, it's true that China has immense manpower on its side. That is something that they can utilize pretty nicely. Okay, so anything... The Ministry of Labor is something that I would really like. Stability, factory output would be good. I think instead we might go with... I mean, better wages. That is extra stability, but we already got quite a lot here. So throwing in additional stability. I don't know if that's... Wow, the fall of Beijing already. After weeks of combat, that's actually not true. The large-scale military clashes between China and Japan in Beijing and Tianjin have encompassed the entire region, with Japan routing the Chinese further into Hebei. With Japan's absolute naval and air superiority, the Chinese army could not retain cohesion and suffered extreme losses in the cities. With the area now firmly in Japanese hands, many wonder whether it will be enough to prevent a full-scale from erupting. God damn it, guys! Proofread your texts. Oh wow, they just landed in Shanghai. Okay, so that's a naval invasion. Nice. Anyway, as I was saying, thinking either we're gonna offer better wages, which would increase stability and increase factory and dockyard output, but mandatory army service would give us army experience gain, recruitable population, lower training time, and lowered experienced soldier losses. Non-core manpower, recruitable population. All of these cost factories, so I think mandatory army service would be in line with our fascist regime. It gives us extra recruitable population, most training time. I mean, the better wages are also pretty good, but we don't really need the stability at this point. And I think that we can withstand even the hit from... Yeah, we have factory output, dockyard output maxed, compliance, cruise speed. Yeah, I don't think there's much to do with that. Okay, so how's research doing? Good. We got another destroyer here, so let's throw it into the fray. Ships training. Already starting to get decent bonuses. You are also pretty clear right there. Yeah, our current daily consumption is increasing though. I'm thinking whether or not we want to train our fighters, but I think we might want to. Actually, just like that. That is gonna kill our... It's still balanced. 945 is gain and 923 is usage. And welcome to the world, trainee McTrain. We are starting to produce civilian trains. The growth is pretty good. 0.043. Yeah, it's better than the 0.014 that we started with. Fascist influence foreign policy. Okay, I don't like that. Accepting the fascists into our political coalition has had an impact on our foreign policy. So let's go again with... we can use some allies against greater threats. And does that, it puts us above the minimum 50%. Awesome. So now we can hold a national referendum. With sufficient support, we may now safely hold a referendum to effect a change of government without bloodshed. Fascists demand a referendum. The rapidly growing Swedish fascist movement has never claimed that they need majority support before they seize power, counting on uniting the nation under their leadership once their rule is established. However, it seems their public support has grown rapidly. Many fascists are now calling Per Albin Hansson a hypocrite, claiming to represent the wishes of the people while in reality turning a deaf ear to the masses. The call for a referendum has been dismissed as a typical attempt at disrupting the system by SAP members so far, but at least it's a political measure. If we do not act now, the fascists may choose the violent struggle as a better path to power. Well, politics will change. NSAP will become the ruling party, public elections will no longer be held, and we gain -5 stability. Nice! And our flag changed. Sven Olof Lindholm is now the leader of the country. Amazing. And we continue to increase the influence of the fascist regime on us. Which means that right now I think that the right thing to do would be to start improving. Well, we could get a non-aggression pact with Germany. Okay, that should improve our relations. Yep. Amazing. And they guaranteed us. Awesome. So let's start negotiating licenses. And we're gonna look at what we have here. Plus 100. Yeah, we're on our way into the fold. Next step will be to leave the League of Nations, because as a fascist nation we are no longer going to be stopped by such a petty organization. Emergency political power. Anti-democratic raids. Not much there that we can do. Okay, no changes. So what did happen with the economy? Still a civilian economy. Free trade. Could go with export focus, but workplace. We could upgrade that to... No, we can't. And okay, so it immediately changed to national syndicalism. So thank God I didn't invest in that. Oh, it's interesting. I didn't go with national socialism, but national syndicalism. So daily political power gain is lowered and stability is lowered as well. So actually that kind of tells me that we need the mandatory... No, we're going to go with the offer better wages. That's going to boost our stability, and that has a better effect than anything else. Sven Olof Lindholm abandons neutral foreign policy. Oh, okay, good. After NSAP's recent rise to power, Sven Olof Lindholm announced that Sverige Reich would no longer keep its neutral foreign policy. The world has become tangled and complex. We are no longer safe on our own. We must stand with our fascist partners against our enemies. If we do not choose a side, we will perish alone. Good. Oh, Sverige Reich. I actually don't know what that... Is it a Swedish Reich? That would make sense, but holy hell, that's dark. Okay, and here's the extra research slot. So while I said that we will go with the collectivist ethos next and go for militarism and everything, we're gonna go with extra research slot too, because we need those as soon as possible. So it makes sense for us to make it happen. Okay, so it's 1938 nearby, and we can start with the light cruiser research, because those will be built after we're done with the destroyers. I like how everything falls right into place. Oh, and that reminds me. Request license production. So what can we get from you? They have better scout cars than we do. Way better scout cars. Okay. Still got Bisons, which are outdated. And Panzer 1 and Panzer 2. But I think the Bisons would be great. So if you look at that, production cost is 14.5. Breakthrough is 10 and soft attack 21. Well, you got soft attack 18. So slightly less. Soft attack 18, hard attack 13. Okay, hard attack is higher. And what about that breakthrough? Breakthrough 24 and you got 10. Okay then, let's get these scout cars instead. Would that cost us something? Nope. And they cost less. Okay. So that kind of settles it for us. Okay. So let's start a full-blown production of the German scout cars. Hey, he. Oh wow, we're actually able to go with two full lines now. So how are we gonna handle this. We're building in Western Gotland. So I guess at this point it would be best to go 7. I'd like to actually start a synthetic refinery, but we don't have the synthetic. With what fuel refiner? Oh, I need the experiments. Dang. Okay, well, time to boost our economy even further. Let's go like this. Oh, and there's a possibility to increase that. Cool. Okay, we'll need more military factories now that we are planning an attack. And let's see, if we switch to U2 scout cars. Yeah, the breakthrough is gonna massively increase, so that is something that we definitely need to do. Piercing and soft attack as well. But it's going to be a bit tricky, as we will need how many? 90. Okay, so we can't do it until then. That is one thing that we need to keep in mind. Okay, let's continue and see how the world is going to go around us. The fall of Shanghai. Shortly after the battles of Beijing and Tianjin, Chinese and Japanese forces exchanged small arms fire in districts across Shanghai. This confrontation led to months of brutal urban warfare with severe casualties on both sides. In the end, the dogged Chinese resistance was not enough to deter the Japanese forces. With 2 great victories under the Japanese belt, there seems to be no end to the war in the foreseeable future. Oh yeah, okay, so they got that. And where's Beijing? It's in the north. There's Tianjin. Where's the capital of China? Nanjing. Okay. Yeah, oh, Beijing is all the way up here. Damn, this map. Yeah, because this all is China. So, well, north I looked for here. Aha, okay, so they got that and they landed in Shanghai. Gotcha. Yeah, Jinnan's gonna fall soon. It's not gonna take much longer. Oh, and the Republican Spain is losing to Nationalist Spain. Okay. Well, good on you. The war is probably full blown. Until we still can't do anything with that. That is kind of sad, but what can you do? So let's do another check on our navy. Yes, here comes another destroyer. So now we get 30 ships in our main fleet. And it's probably where we are going to hit. No. Still got higher daily gain. Good on us, good on us. Missing equipment production. Motor. Oh, did we lose any airplanes? We did. We lost some torpedo bombers. And the training, unfortunately, yeah, and some multi-role fighters. Dang it, that's rough. That is rough. Okay, let's. One thing that I want to check is how much support equipment do we need here? 150 per unit or 160 per unit? Because I'm considering we might tone it down a bit with the production of artillery and support equipment. But I mean, if we keep it running and just add everything else into the cars, it is going to be better in the long run, because we will definitely need a lot of support equipment later on. How long, game? 129 days. So, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Then we're gonna start growing our units, making those more effective. So it looks like that armored cars are going to be something that we are going to be very interested in. And I might just start at the bisons eventually if we have enough factories for those, but it's going to be rough. It is going to be rough. So yeah, once we get the extra research on the collectivist ethos, what are you giving us? Militarism, military youth, paramilitarism. I think we might finish the research slot and just go for the armament effort, because that's 4 extra factories, and that is gonna benefit us greatly. Okay, so let's end this episode by leaving the League of Nations. Left the League of Nations. Are we going to get an event? Who's this embargo? Oh, okay, so I didn't even know that Germany was under embargo. Okay, 0 days. Come on. Failed. Okay. Ah, no, it went well. we just didn't get the benefits. Okay, and now we can start justifying war goal against our neighboring state, which is Norway. So we'll do that in the next episode, and I guess we can just we're gonna start with Ostlandet. It's gonna be enough. Though, you know, 370 days, that would be a year, so we would attack them in 1938. And we'd have the easiest time ever. But we would need the political power for that. Oh, we still need more. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.